Hi folks, Liz Wood here with the second video in the Sampler Nurse Practitioner thread. So in this video, we are going to spend some time considering how we might utilize Questar Sampler within the classroom. In the previous video, make sure you watch it if you haven't yet, we explored the user interface and how to navigate. So now that we've got that down, so what? How are we actually going to use this? To start us off, you're actually going to pause the video, not just yet, but you will. You're going to brainstorm a list yourself. You're an expert, you know your kids, you know your content. How might this tool fit into your instruction, your practice, daily activities? So in Google Classroom, there is this assignment. This is how you got to the video. You can go ahead and open up that Google Docs now and start brainstorming a list of how this might work. Feel free to stop when you either run out of ideas or feel like you've got a good list going. So go ahead, pause that video. Hi folks, welcome back. We are going to just jump into a couple of slides that have ideas listed. While I'm talking through some of these ideas that have worked for other people, feel free to edit your list. You can also save that for the end. You can highlight, mark off anything that we both listed. It's really up to you and how you feel comfortable taking in this information. So let's get started. So first, the actual samplers with the released questions. Remember, these are passages and math problems, extended response, all from previous state tests. So how might we use this? Well, one of the more successful strategies that we've seen folks use is actually doing the test on paper first with the kids, having them do it independently, go over the answers together. Then once you know the kids have the right multiple choice, they've got some solid extended response or math work, then they go in and practice doing it themselves. It removes any anxiety or stress about getting the right answer, and they can really just focus on utilizing the tools within the user interface. So that's one option. These also make great do nows or exit tickets. You can assign a single question. You don't have to utilize the whole sampler at once. Just make sure you give the kids clear, okay, we're signing into grade 7, ELA sampler 1, and you're doing question 1. If you're collecting this data, like you might want to for an exit ticket, make sure you collect screenshots as well. These make great stations for station rotation. You can have the kids work independently in a group, teacher-led, and depending on what kind of data you want to collect, it could just be a reflection question. So you've tried putting your math work into this platform. How did you do? What do you need to work on? Something else that we've seen that's really cool is sharing out individual questions during a gallery walk. So splitting your kids up into groups, having them work on a math problem, an extended response, even multiple choice, and then actually walking around and checking out their classmates' work. I've been very excited to see that in classrooms, and the kids get really into it. So that's one that I recommend. For ELA specifically, these make great shared reading passages. You can have the kids practice annotating, taking notes within this platform, as well as answering some extended response questions. But of course, it's just the passages that are released from the state, so you don't have as much freedom. So this is not an all-encompassing list. I could go on, but these were some of the highlights that we've seen in districts around the region. So I'll slow down, give you a chance to consider, take any notes if you want to. And we're moving on to the math equation editor. So remember, the math equation editor is just the response box and the answer box. There are no questions attached. You as the teacher have the freedom to put out any questions you want, any directions you want for this tool. So some of the success we've seen around the southern tier: using this as a whiteboard for rapid whiteboard responses. Even if you're just doing fluency practice, have the kids show their work within this tool instead of on a whiteboard. This also makes a great tool for do nows or fluency exercises. It's just a blank box. So maybe not every day. It might be too much to incorporate this into a daily do now practice, but a couple of times a week could make a big difference come state test time. This is also a great medium for partner or group work because the kids can collaborate. You might have some kids that are great at the sketch tool, and you might have some other kids that are great at the built-in tools. So see what the kids know, get them together, get their brains whirring and what they can come up with this tool. And with the partners or with the groups, there's some more accountability, especially for a platform where we can't collect data. This is also a great tool during small group teacher-led instruction where you or a co-teacher, paraprofessional, where you can actually see what the kids are doing. So having that immediate check to make sure they're using the tool correctly. We want that feedback to be immediate and often. This is a little bit of fun. I'm a big game nerd, and I love this tool for Pictionary or drawing exercises because of that sketch pad. So if it's Fun Friday, pull out the math tool, pull out your sketch pad, and get playing some drawing games. Lighthearted, low-risk activities to get your kids familiar with the tools. Again, I'm going to slow down. Feel free to pause if you want to take notes. And next up, we've got the ELA response box. So again, just like the math equation editor, this is only a box. It has 3 functions total: undo, redo, and type. Very straightforward. So for typing practice, if you just want the kids to get used to their proper form, sitting up in their seats, this is a great tool to supplement any other typing instruction you have going on. In the same vein as Pictionary for math, this is great if you're doing something low risk like games, puzzles, riddles, just giving the kids a place to capture their thinking, to hold their answers, especially when content isn't the focus. I've also seen folks use this for those add and pass writing activities where one student starts writing and then passes it along. You could have, the Chromebook pass along a group and just some low risk, low entry activities for kids to get comfortable with the tools. Some more content driven. I've seen a lot of folks use this to practice their 2- and 4-point responses based off a shared reading passage. If the kids are putting in the work to write a 2-point response or a 4-point response, that's probably where you'd want them to take a screenshot and upload to your learning management system. Also a great spot just to jot thinking during class activities. If it's not something that needs to be saved, you just need a physical working memory space, this is a great tool instead of like jotting on scrap paper or opening up a Google Doc, something like that. Okay, so that's my video. Those are some of the highlights that we've seen around the region. But again, that is not an all-encompassing list. There are so many different ways that you can utilize this tool in your classroom. And it's up to you what you're comfortable with, what your kids need, what your content and learning objectives require. So take some time, go back to your doc, bold or highlight any strategies that you're considering that you want to hang on to. Add anything that I mentioned, or I might have sparked some thinking for you. Add new ideas. Brainstorm that list, because in our next section of the Sampler Nurse Practitioner, you're going to be implementing this tool in your classroom. So make sure you've got that list and some options. As always, thanks for watching. Reach out if you need anything at all. Bye.